Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, welcome back. How's your week been?
It's great.
Yeah?
Yours?
What's news?
Do you know what? I've been looking into all different sorts of supplements. You feel like you get a bit achy and, you know, over 40s, not so glamorous. So what do you take?
So JS Health actually has, and this isn't a plug for her, but Jessica Seppel, Sydney girl.
Yes.
I think she has a bit of exposure throughout the US as well.
I reached out to get her on the show, actually.
Oh, really?
So I'm in contact with her.
Okay. Which show? This show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'm amazing because I can speak from authenticity. Sim asked me to get on her magnesium product.
Oh, yeah.
Just say, hey, Tubbs, I think you may need a little bit of magnesium. I'm like not diagnosed or anything like that, but it actually stopped all my back problems.
Oh, wow.
100% gone.
So good.
And I struggled for about 3.5 years. Every other month I'd be in the physio. And I didn't understand that it was actually more of a chemistry thing than a physical thing. Like physio was like, yeah, maybe you've got a bulged disc or maybe you've got a, ruptured this or that. None of that was true. What was true was I was deficient in magnesium and my body was spasming because I was running hard but not recovering enough.
Yeah.
And so JS Health, Sim's obviously, well, not obviously, but Sim's a friend of Jessica's. And she got me on her magnesium. Then I spiraled into turmeric.
Yes. Oh, I do that every morning
Yeah.
now. I've got a little shot that I do. So I do turmeric, lemon, like fresh lemon juice, a bit of manuka honey, or at least an organic honey, like one that's got the prebiotics in it. And then I'll put ginger. So instead of having to chop it up, I buy the one that's in a tube that you just squeeze out. So it's fresh ginger, and shot that down every morning in winter.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. I walk out of this podcast every month going, I need to do better on the nutrition. And I come in here every month going, I'm better. And then you just shoot me like that stuff. I was like, I have no idea what you're saying. But that sounds amazing. Turmeric, I feel like post-COVID, and I feel like I had like this restlessness in my system. I'm not sure if it's shot related, but I'm actually speaking to one of your guys. I'll tell you on the next show how that goes. But turmeric has actually helped anti-inflammatory. It's been amazing.
Absolutely. Well, the other two things that are really trending, and there's actually great science behind them, is, well, you met Dr. Tim Crow at the Balaclava Creative Cubes the other day.
I did.
And so he's the guru of all research. So he was the head of Deakin for like 17 years, nutrition scientist. Anyway, I wanted to get the real lowdown on creatine because there's been so much hype about it. And basically it's true. And what it should be used for, or can be used for, is preventing cognitive decline.
Yes.
So increasing brain function.
Yes.
So it's good for your muscles.
Yes.
It's good for boosting the amount of energy that you have in the muscles for a workout. But now for brain health, it's really, really important.
So a member of our family has got dementia, and my dad passed from an aneurysm way back in the day. You know, he's been gone nearly 30 years now. So brain function and brain health is really important to me. It's a real big focus. Yeah. Partly because of the history, but also because of what I'm trying to achieve is I want to live to 150 and be around for my little girls forever. But I'm hearing a lot of stuff about this creatine stuff. So I might tap someone that we both know, Luke, and see whether or not he can find me something that will help me. And then when I come back to the next week's segment, I'm going to be all dialed in on creatine. But one other thing that I am playing around with is collagen.
Yes.
So I understood what I thought was collagen was stuff that you sort of like put in your cheeks and help you smile. Yeah. But actually collagen is actually a supplement that I've been taking, which is really good for, is it ligaments and recovery?
Yeah, so all of your joint, skin, hair, nails.
Joint, skin, hair, nails.
So Professor Tim Crow actually debunked this. So he goes, if you'd asked me 20 years ago, I would have said it was rubbish. It's a protein that gets digested in the gut and doesn't turn up in the skin. And he's like, well, actually, it doesn't get digested. It actually can go into different areas of the body. So they've made it radioactive and traced it, and they can see it coming up in your body. So it works, which is really surprising.
I got to tell you, not to plug JS Health, but I've been on her products now for, I want to say 8 weeks, and I absolutely notice a difference. Amazing. My skin, my recovery, how I'm feeling. I mean, I am going to Calm Springs 3 times a week for infrared sauna and ice bathing as well. So it's not all JS, but I'm about it. And the recovery aspect is something that we talked about on last pod with our boxing friend.
Yes.
She's amazing.
She is.
But we talked about boxing. Well, the next guest that we have coming on after the ad break actually has a black belt in excellence.
Wow.
And Mr. Peter Thurin and I see each other all over Australia in random places, and I'm really excited that he's coming on. So after this, from Rise Network, we'll have Peter coming on the show.
Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Now you can expand out.
You make me laugh, firstly, though, like you're talking about like at 40.
You're in your 40s. All good.
Like I'm 70 in October. Mum turned 92 yesterday. I told her my dad's 95.
Hang on, this needs to be on because this is good.
Yes. No, it is. Yeah, we're rolling.
Bring it in.
Guys, Peter Thurin has joined us in the studio. Peter, I texted you yesterday to say, all right, what do you want to talk about? And you're like, can't speak. Mum's 92nd. I thought it was 93rd.
92 yesterday.
92.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And he goes, my dad's 94. 93, 95. Wow.
I'm younger than both of them, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but you've
been
been chewing on some secrets and Sharon's products. I think you guys have exited that business now.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it. I was captain of the cheer squad. That was Jamie, our oldest boy, and my wife, Sharon. Yeah, no, I was really and truly, I was just their, cheerleader.
Amazing.
That's it.
And you've been a cheerleader of mine. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But when we first connected, we actually connected through Tony Kofkin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And John Siegel, who was North Melbourne nutrition coach for many years. And now he's on the tennis tour with Thanos.
He was traveling with Kokonakis.
Yeah. What's his name?
Tanasi Kokonakis, who people confuse with my youngest boy, Matt. They almost look the same.
Matt really?
I was like, the names.
The names are very different.
Tanasi Kokonakis and Matthew
Tanasi and Matt. But we connected, and I actually remember, this, and I have never told you this, but when I first connected with you, John and I were trying to do this corporate health lifestyle business.
Yes.
And you grabbed me by the arm in the most gentle way, but you grabbed me by the arm, and I reckon a thunderbolt went through me in terms of your energy. And you started talking about black belt and excellence, and you and Tony Kofkin had done judo and karate or something, self-defense together. And man, I was just like, I still remember you grabbing my arm and saying, Tobi, it's got to be. And I was like, whoa, this guy's energy is amazing. And to say you're 70, I don't believe it.
No, it is funny. I'm a husband, father, grandfather. I'm still the most immature person inside the room and love what I do. I think for me, that's everything. I love my family. as you can see, I wear a bracelet on my wrist that has the 5 names of my 5 grandchildren on it. And when anybody gives me the SHITSs, I just look at that and that keeps,
you're back to winning.
My girls bought that for my husband. So my husband wears one of those.
Isn't that amazing?
So beautiful,
for my grandkids.
Isn't it?
That was a gift from Harper. And Toby, we both share a Harper.
Yes,
I've got a granddaughter and you've got
a different Harper, but we share the name.
Yeah, we do. We share the name.
So good.
How cool
I love
is
it.
that?
Yeah.
Me too. And I look at it and it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
When I'm still like a kid in a toy shop, I'm 70 later this year, but I'm really just getting started.
Yeah.
I've lived a life.
I believe it.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah. How's his energy?
I know. They're easy to do, easy not to do. I was listening to that and I was like, I get it. And it doesn't matter what the statement is. If someone gives you an excuse, you can use that. So
yeah, look, it's a choice that we make, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's interesting is that I'm sure I'm not the first person to say easy to do, easy not to do, your choice, but I own it.
Yes.
It's trademarked to me. And I suppose what's interesting is that I travelled the world for 20 years, with martial arts, team building events. And then when the pandemic hit, you can't break wooden boards virtually. So it was time to rebrand.
Yes.
And what had been coming out of my mouth forever was, well, it's easy to do. It's also easy not to do. So the boys that helped me with the rebranding, that became the focus.
Amazing.
I love that. Your purpose just in one phrase
Well,
and trademarking.
but it's natural, right? So he's been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now he's brought that to the foreground as opposed to just sitting in the
I
background.
love the fact that you both focus on it because I was getting emails and messages from all around the world from people who had just started in business or from presidents of companies. I had the president of a significant company who sent me a message one day saying, Pete, you drive me insane. He said, it's snowing outside and you're that little birdie on my shoulder going, easy to do, easy not to do. So I'm out walking in the snow and what I really wanted to do was just go straight back in under the blankets.
Totally.
But it's funny how things happen because with the rebranding, and Toby, like traveling the world, with martial arts was extraordinary because I sold jelly beans for 20 years and now I'm being paid to talk.
Yep.
When most of my friends would pay me to shut up, I'm getting paid to talk. I thought it was the most amazing
jelly
thing.
beans. Let's clarify.
Yeah, I was about to say, yes.
Pharmacies, but hey.
I owned retail pharmacies
Yes.
for 20 years and woke up one day, thought I'm done and had to look at life outside of the 4 walls of a pharmacy.
Yeah.
And with the rebranding,
So you're a pharmacist by trade.
I am a pharmacist.
Yes.
Yep, I really am. And it was amazing for me, amazing. And most of my talking around the world started from having the courage to buy a business. I mean, my first foray into business was a failure. I went into a partnership and I came out years later with less money than what I'd put in.
Yes.
And I thought it was a tragedy. I thought, woe is me. And it really highlighted to me that you don't always know at a given moment in time whether something's a positive or a negative. Then I thought it was a negative. But without that experience, I would never have had the courage to go and buy a business on my own. And the next business was the business that built my family home and educated my kids and did all the things that I was hoping that it would do. And it gave me the confidence, really. But at some point in time, you have to get into the game and have the courage to take that first step. And so it's a bit of easy to do, easy not to do way back then.
Yeah.
But I hadn't really given it a title. But what I was going to say about the rebrand, I came out of pharmacy, but now I've been traveling the world post-pharmacy for 20 plus years with martial arts team building events and corporate speak. And 2 gentlemen came into my office and the conversation was a really in-your-face conversation. I've been doing what I've been doing for 20, 25 years and it's been amazing for me. And one of the gentlemen sits down and he looks at me and he says to me, Pete, you are just an ordinary bloke and you can stick black belt in excellence up your jumper.
Wow.
Bang. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, am I going to physically remove this man from my office or how do you respond? And I suppose in life, you don't always get to choose what happens to you, but your response is absolutely your choice.
Yeah.
What he was actually saying to me was, your strength is that you're just an ordinary guy that's done some amazing things. Anybody could do what you've done. How awesome is that? And black belt in excellence, the martial arts, has been wonderful for you, but it's probably done its time. Why don't we look at where to from here?
Yeah.
And I'm still wonderful friends with both those gentlemen.
Yeah.
And the one who actually got into my face, this is a terrible generalisation, but my generation, and I'm certainly talking about me, terrible at asking for help. But I knew I needed a new book around easy to do, easy not to do. 2006, I wrote a book called Be the Best You Can Be. And now it was time for a new book because people were asking me relentlessly, where's the easy not to do book? And I actually asked Brett, the gentleman who got into my face, mate, would you be prepared to collaborate with me on a book?
Wow.
So it's a happy ending to the story.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And I think you need to have those moments, don't you? Because that's that pivot. You have to have someone give you the hard truth. Otherwise, you can just keep going with the path that you're on. And that's the good to great, isn't it? If something bad doesn't happen, you probably can't take that next step.
I'm amazing coming from you. I mean, as I know a little bit about your background and, Telstra, Businesswoman of the Year, and you've done some serious stuff and play in a really important space. And I think that we're so used to inspiring other people and encouraging other people and supporting other people and listening to other people, but it's not so often that someone gets into your face.
Oh yes,
and
it's so hard. It crushes you.
Yeah, it's because I'm the one that challenges others. I'll get into Tobi's face and say, "Mate, have you been for your run this morning?"
Yes,
good man. I knew you. Well, I wouldn't dare come here without doing mine.
Well, actually, Peter, I just want to double back because I called it out in the early in the segment, but I went through a really dark time here at Creative Cubes. I mean, we sell office space, and Dan the man said, if you go to the office, you're going to die. And so you can imagine what that did to my business. I found myself in Bondi where Peter's two boys live. And I was like, mate, can you have a coffee with me? I don't drink coffee, by the way. Did you drink coffee?
I did have one, mate.
Really?
Yeah, I was told I don't need a coffee.
Yeah, I was about to say, my head would just blow if I had coffee. But
I put green tea after coffee because the L-theanine. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to spend some time with Peter, and he checked in on me quite a few times post, and just his words of encouragement and directional advice actually steered me to be able to be sitting on this podcast today with the business out there that's thriving.
For me, it's really simple because I then asked you, if one of my kids rang you for some guidance and advice, would you be there for one of my kids? And you spontaneously said, of course I would. And so the question had been answered, would I help you? Of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's beholden upon us as human beings that if we can do something for another human being, then we must do it. And that's why I get actually quite frustrated with things like Are You OK Day, when people ask very superficially, are you okay, but genuinely don't care.
Yeah.
And I can give you evidence of that with certain people with very high profile, but they don't stop and listen. And one thing I know for certain is that everybody has a story. And I think sometimes we need to show a little bit of empathy and listen to those stories. And if we can be a source of inspiration or counsel or just to listen to them, sometimes the best thing you can do is just close your mouth and listen. Then I think that, going shoulder to shoulder, then we can be bigger, bolder and stronger together than any one of us can be on our own.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I've thanked you privately, but I want to thank you publicly. I really do draw a lot of inspiration from you. I love your videos on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for when I send you text messages, you reply pretty quickly. Can't talk now, Tobes. Mum's having her 92nd birthday, but I'll be back to you shortly. And all the amazing success that you have with all your little ones.
But mate, can I tell you honestly, I'm like a kid in a toy shop, and I was so excited when you asked me to be a part of this. I've been counting sleeps. so here we are. I get Kate as well, who I now, we get back in touch again, which is so lovely.
So good.
Because we just don't know where this takes us.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to put yourself in danger of learning and growing, and we don't get everything right. But again, it's about the doing. And we can encourage each other, but if we leave it inside this room, and that's what most companies around the world do, and it's their greatest frustration, is they go to an event or come on a podcast or they go to a training session with good intentions, but good intentions doesn't get the job done. You actually have to do something, and even if it's that first step into a new game, whatever that game is, and we don't always know where it's going to take us to, but we've just got to keep taking those small steps. And you and I know that those small steps taken consistently over time leads to massive achievement. And if you can do it with somebody who you love working with, then why wouldn't you explore doing that?
Absolutely.
That is definitely something I think in the room we all have in common. Like, obviously, if you're texting, replying straight away, it's that being in the moment and actually actioning whatever it needs to be done. And I had this conversation getting my makeup done with Nettie this morning. She said to me, "You're always so calm." And she goes, "But I know why." And I said, "Why?" And she said, because you're always doing stuff that even when I was talking to her about introductions to this person, that person, she's doing my makeup and she's like, look down. I'm like, I am. I've done the introductions, because if you let things build up and don't do things, that's going to hold you back.
Oh, I love it.
Just never stop doing. Just
you're
constantly.
spot on. We are aggressively agreeing with each other. 2 promises I make any company when I'm invited. I mean, my life is still keynote speaking, consulting to businesses and mentoring. And 2 promises I make. First one, I will never let you down through lack of preparation.
Yes.
And 2, I'll give you everything I've got when I go on stage. And I can't do much more than that. And preparation you control. So don't let yourself down.
Yes, and I saw that your preparation for every single workshop you do is tailored to the organisation. You've had clients like Optus and Apple and these big brands, but you tailor the session and you won't quote them up front because you don't know what you need to do. Yeah, I love that.
It's not difficult to do your preparation. I remember coming off stage, I was working with a global company, and the president of that company, it was overseas, grabbed me when I came off stage, grabbed me by my shoulder and he pulled me into him. His language was very colourful, so I won't repeat exactly how he spoke, but he said, Pete, that is extraordinary. How could you possibly know we're chasing 7.5% growth in South Africa and 3% growth in Japan? Well, it was on his website. Yeah. It's not that difficult. You can find out what you need to find out. So.
2 ears, 1 mouth is what Sim says to me quite often. Not as often these days, but often, which is listen twice as much as you speak.
Yeah.
And
can I just want to just make one comment if I could. Please. about the doing. I catch myself out a lot. A lady who I really like, a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. She that fixed versus growth mindset. Yes. And I'd love to tell you I have a growth mindset, and then I catch myself out being fixed. So it's that awareness of where you're at. I had a dream as an 8-year-old little boy to achieve a black belt in martial arts, but did nothing about it until I turned 36. Impossible to achieve the goal between the age of 8 and 36 because I didn't have the courage to get into the game.
Yeah.
And it was a simple phone call that anybody can make, that changed my life. That was the epiphany. A phone call, it's easy to do, but also easy not to do. And it was a phone call to book my first lesson. So now I'm on my way. And it started to snowball, and momentum's an extraordinary thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's harder not to do it.
When you think about it, it's even I mean, it's very analogy that you've heard before, but the merry-go-round, sometimes hard to get going, but once it's going, you just keep it going with your little finger. And that's the power of momentum.
Yes.
And I know for me that once I started on the martial arts journey, there are people who were encouraging. I was the oldest, the ugliest, and the worst. And I've got people that are cheering for me because they're seeing just how hard I'm working to achieve this black belt in martial arts. And it's that old thing. It's the journey that's where the fun is.
Yes.
Ultimately, yes, did I achieve that goal? Yes, I did. And hence my business, Black Belt in Excellence, was born from having a black belt.
2 things. I say to my girls all the time, choose your hard, which is kind of like what you're saying. It's just a reverse, which is, it's hard to do it and it's hard not to do it.
Yeah.
So choose your hard.
Yep. Love it.
And then the second thing is that I actually have a total brain fart here. As you were talking, I was like, wow, that was amazing. But it's escaped my head at the moment.
It's so funny.
It's going to make a great reel.
But it happens to me. I'm sometimes like, I'm on stage speaking and I'm telling a story on stage and...
Where's my next words?
I'm thinking to myself, where am I going with this story?
Yes.
It's just come out of nowhere. And I remember one time, a story I started telling, I was encouraging people on stage to... We're talking about acts of kindness and maybe date night. And as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm in Cairns. I live in Melbourne, but the conference was in Cairns. I'm not going home until tomorrow. And I'm encouraging people who are in relationships to maybe just you and your partner. And as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm thinking to myself, that's reasonably good advice, mate, but it wouldn't hurt you to do a bit more of that yourself.
Totally.
And so, but I had no idea where I was going with the story. But when I came off stage, I thought, I've got to act on this story.
Yes.
So I rang my wife and I said, I'm home tomorrow night. I said, I do not want you to cook. I said, I want you to book, and I named our favourite Italian restaurant. Italian is my choice, but our favourite Italian restaurant. And you and I, no one else. I don't want you to invite anybody else. It's just the 2 of us. And her immediate response to me was, what have you done? Note to self, I need to do it more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Easy to do.
did the same thing for Friday night, just coming. And we booked 6:15, Christian and I, date night.
Well
It's our
done.
second date in a long time. But it's this consistency. It was doing the first one that was hard. It's a 2-second booking online. We both loved it. And we're like, oh. So then this week, instead of just thinking it, it's book it. And I always say this to my girlfriends as well. People can't read your mind. So the fact that I'm thinking about it doesn't mean that other person knows that you're thinking about them, because it's the thought that counts, but they can't read your mind. So you actually have to say things out loud.
Kate, I think
or
that's
take the
so
action.
important. I love what you're saying, because I'm trying to get better at that myself. You know, when you say I was thinking of you, the only way that person knows you were thinking of them is if you tell them I was thinking of you. So I've got better at using the phone, and I use the phone as opposed to lots of messages.
Yeah. So I think I've got this one mastered finally. I have a calendar in my wife and I. If you need me for something, she has to send a calendar. You want me to come to athletics? Send me a calendar and consider it done. But I put in her calendar slow mornings, and I put it in every month or every 4 weeks. It's slow mornings. It's drop the kids to school. Let's go walk. Let's go talk. Let's have breakfast. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's in my calendar, and it's a no-go zone for everything else. Nothing else can interrupt that.
You know, I was given a wonderful lesson by a gentleman who, if you think you're busy, he runs a global company. And he said to me, Pete, can I tell you what I do? Because I was talking to him about busy. And he said, what I do is this. I sit down with my EA at the beginning of every year, and we open up my diary. And the first thing that goes into my diary are what I call 6 bonus weekends. So we put in everything to do with the kids, parent-teacher, school sports day. He's a busy human being, I promise you. But the 6 bonus weekends are 6 weekends with his wife. That includes the Friday and or the Monday.
Yeah, wow.
So if somebody wants him, there's no explanation, no justifying. Bob's not available on Monday.
Totally.
Does Tuesday work for you? But the first things, and so I talk a lot about not negotiables. And there's no grey with a not negotiable.
Totally.
So if you say your kids matter, then get home for story time. If you say your health and fitness matters, then get up and go for a walk in the morning. And if you've not exercised since you left school, I'm going to challenge you to get out of bed 10 minutes earlier and go for a walk around the park. It's easy to do. It's also easy not to do. Totally. And the beautiful thing is you get to choose. And the other amazing thing is that I know for certain that there is inspiration all around us. You know, you don't have to look terribly far. And I'd love to share a story with you, if that's okay, just around inspiration. We're talking about, when I walked in, about my young boy, Matt, who now lives in Sydney. When he was just a little boy, I was coaching his football team. And just before the end of the game, as 9-year-old kiddies do, they don't really have a position. Everybody just chases the football. So there were 36 kids on the ball, and there were stacks on the mill, and I couldn't find little Matt. And of course, he was the last one up, and he got up and he's holding his arm. And I thought, something is really not right. And he was trying to be so brave and trying not to cry in front of all the other little boys. Thankfully, the siren went, the game was over. I've completed my coaching responsibilities, but now I have to take him to the doctor. Go to the doctor, arm is x-rayed. Sure enough, it's broken. I'm thinking, oh my golly. He's put in a plaster from just below his shoulder, almost to his wrist. So you can imagine the drive home was reasonably quiet. When from nowhere, he turns to face me and he says, Dad. I said, buddy, what? He says, Dad. I said, mate, I can hear you. Tell me what. He said, I am such a lucky boy. I'm thinking, oh my golly, where's he going with this? I said, tell me more. He said, well, Dad, the doctor just said that I can't play football for 6 weeks. And I said, that's true. He says, so Dad, that means I can play the last game of the season. And I'm thinking, this little kiddie has just given me a lesson in life about focusing on what you can do, not on what you can't do. And again, easy to do, easy not to do. That's the essence of it. Easy to do is about focusing on what you can do, not on what you can't do. It's the first step to achieving anything in your life, but it's also the second step and the third step and so on. And what I've learned for certain is that the best in the world learn to find it easy to focus on easy to do, whereas the also-rans tend to focus on easy not to do.
Totally.
And there's this little boy, so I'm thinking, how can I take Matt's lesson, that gift he's just given me, and apply it into my own life? And I thought, well, focusing on what you can do needs to become an all-the-time thing, not a sometimes thing.
Absolutely.
And I meet lots of interested people who are interested in having a better relationship with their partners, people who are interested in being fit and healthy, people who are interested in being financially secure, but I don't meet a lot of people who are truly committed to it. And that's the key. There's a yes box and a no box. You either got up and did your 10-minute walk or you did not. I don't need the whole story. The box is only big enough for a tick. You just get to tick the yes box or the no box. Did you do your 2 sit-ups and your 2 push-ups? Yes or no? Did you text your mum and say, I love you, I'm thinking of you? Yes or no? It's not complicated, but it's the doing.
Yep.
Just one step at a time. You know, I don't imagine any of our listeners throwing their hands up and going, oh my gosh, how does you think of this stuff? It's pretty much common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, but we get distracted. I mean, you know, as in human beings get distracted and we lose focus sometimes. So
Me too, mate.
The easy to do is, I'm setting the intention, I'm getting up and I'm doing it. And the easy not to do is, my daughter had a nightmare, I'm just going to stay cuddling with her instead of actually going and doing it. And then all of a sudden I've lost 3 days because I haven't got you know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's a real story. I'm just saying that there's a lot of external factors that torpedo our days that prevent us from trying to be the best.
Matt, I think once we've got absolute clarity as to what matters most, I know it's cliched, but if everything's important, nothing's important.
Yes.
And if we're really clear as to the things that matter most to us, and if I say to you that my health and fitness matters, yes, I need to take care of me in order to take care of the people who I love and who I care about. So health and fitness, my family, I love my kids and my grandchildren more than I love life itself. So if I'm going to say that to you, but I'm never there for them, then you're going to think, hang on, Pete, there's a bit of a disconnect here. But it also enables me to make better decisions because there's no confusion. If my little Harper has, as she's playing netball on the weekend, and I've told her I'm going to be there, then I'm going to be there.
Totally.
The decision's been made.
Yep.
Because that is my non-negotiable. And I was blessed because 20 years of owning and operating retail pharmacies, my one non-negotiable was that I had to see my children every day. Mm-hmm. I was working 7 days a week, like a lot of us had to in the early days. And my wife also shared a love of our kids. And if I couldn't get home in time to see the kids, we only lived one suburb away, very fortunate, but Shaz used to bring the kids into the pharmacy.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
I got to see my kids. So
So
I got to
good.
cuddle my kids every day. And I'd love to think that I've taken that through life.
I see it, so I believe it. We are going to drop to a quick break from Luna, and then Kate and I are going to come back and discuss everything that Peter has shared with us today. While I have your attention, if you want to click on the show notes, I've linked all of Peter's details, his LinkedIn, his website. If you want to get engaged with him and learn more about how he can help you with your own journey, I've got all of his details in the description below. But for now, here's one from Luna.
weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
Hey Toby, I love from Peter how he can sum up what he does in just one phrase. Do you have a phrase?
Do I have a phrase? I have a lot of phrases, not one, unfortunately.
What's your top 3?
I like the 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Yes.
So listen twice as much as speaking. I often have myself saying that to I have a little Toby on my shoulder that says...
I have one too.
Yeah.
Better Kate.
Yeah, okay. Oh, no, the Toby? Okay. It just kind of reminding me to just sort of stay here, be in the moment. There's tons of times as well where I'm already thinking about, the end game. And Sim will bring me back to just get through today. Just get through today. And, I get a lot of anxiety around trying to navigate the big path.
Can I share? Andy Gower shared something with me last week that I thought was phenomenal about that. He said, there is no such thing as pressure. Pressure is only in tires. There's process and outcome. If you focus on the outcome, you'll feel pressure. If you focus on the process, you will get progress. And everyone that I've told since he told me that has, like, the pennies dropped. They're like, just the process and the progress, because you're always going to get to the outcome.
Yep.
Don't think
And I'm
about
a big
it.
picture guy.
You're going to do the work. If you're not going to do the work, then the outcome's scary.
Yeah, I think that's very profound. I just love Peter's energy. We didn't talk about this while he was on the show, but I'd rock up to random places, and Peter would be there, or vice versa. He would rock up like Byron Bay. I think maybe 3 or 4 years in a row, he'd be there. And then randomly, more recently, but maybe a year ago, I was in Bondi and Peter and Sharon were there on a trip, and they were staying in an apartment. I was staying in the hotel behind, and yeah, I love the guy's energy.
It's infectious, trust me. I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Guys, check out Peter's details in the show notes below. Kate, it's been another great segment.